What have you been doing? Well, my friends, I'll tell you what I've been doing. I did what I've been telling people to do. Just don't forget to take time for yourself. Always keep your mental health and well-being paramount, and sometimes check out of this. Now, I didn't check out of this because it's not possible for me to do, but what I did kind of take myself off the hook a little bit in trying to juggle work. We still have to pay the bills. I had a couple of projects that came in. I had work to do, which I'm grateful for. It's kind of wrapped up now. But balancing this compulsion or the need that I feel to have to create videos talking about that, the mental gymnastics that I've done in order to take some pressure of that away. Because look, there's no pressure. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I do. It's just so freaking important. And in the beginning, there just wasn't that many people talking about it, but that has kind of changed in the past few weeks or maybe even a month and something like that. I have seen huge YouTube channels, even mainstream media, are now kind of waking up to this. AI is nonsense. That it's not AI. This really, the situation with the companies that are putting this out, and there's just a lot of layers to this rotting onion, and people are starting to wake up to that, which makes me feel really good. I don't know if you guys know Adam Conover. Adam Conover made an incredible video basically entitled AI is BS. Well done. I really like Adam Conover. He's made some fantastic videos, and he seems to be firmly on the side of humans, people. And the comments in that were very, very positive. It wasn't all like, suck it, nerds. This is the future. The cat's out of the bag. You ain't no rubbing this genie back in the bottle. None of that nonsense. I mean, I'm sure it's in there somewhere, but, that's great. Lots of this stuff happening. I got a lot of articles, and there's a lot of stuff and tabs that I do want to talk about, but just to say what I've been doing, and maybe you guys don't even care. And I know, the format of what I do is it's a lot more informal. The standard YouTube format is like information, well edited, very concise, present information. I just don't have the time to edit to that capacity, really, so I'm sorry. So it's really just going to be me talking. The original question of where you been, what have you been doing? So as I said, I kind of checked out just a wee bit. And when I say checked out, again, it just means I took some pressure off myself to have to speak about these things, because the message is getting out. A lot of people are kind of coming around to this, but I also did the other thing that I always say, so don't forget to be creative. Find that thing in you that is so powerful, that urge to create, and continue to nurture it. Don't let this pull you out of that very important practice that, for the 10 millionth time, not only enables you to say, hey, look, I actually made something, as opposed to the computer, but is really good for your brain. Like, get those brain waves going down. Nice and chill, create, get that serotonin going. So I did a little bit of that. So 2 weeks ago, I had a couple projects. I kind of wrapped them up. Then I had family come in town, and that's, well, they're gone now. And I can kind of get back to it. But the week before that, I had an absolutely fantastic little spurt of creative juice. It's like I was walking around outside, and the creative god just took a big old jizz right on my face. I came home, and I sat down at my workstation for the first time in a long time, and I just went. Like, didn't even really think too much. I just I just want to do this right now. And I sat there for hours, and it was so much fun, and I made this. So this is, look, I've been in a little bit of a creative drought during all this shit, and I know I say not to do that, but I'm a little guilty of it too. But I said to myself, if you're making shit, you don't have to make videos, right? Because this is important to continue this practice, right? So first was this. It's pretty straight ahead landscape, and I could go more. There's plenty of information that can be added in here, but overall I was like, you know what? I don't hate that. It doesn't piss me off that much. My face is covering this rock. It's a fine rock. And I said, okay, let's keep going. So one of the great things about actually making something yourself instead of prompting it is that it's not something necessarily you do in 2 hours. You know, you start, let's say I started it that night, and I wake up in the morning and I come to my computer, I've got my coffee and I'm clutching to my dreams and go, and I open my computer and I see it. It's the first thing that pops up on my screen. I'm like, oh yeah, right. And now I'm looking at it with fresh eyes, and before I even know it, I don't even think of it. I'm just in there, and I'm doing the thing with the thing, and that leads to more good feelings. So there's all of these are like, you know, that's how it works. You see it the next day, blah blah blah. But it's this ongoing thing, and then when you're actually done, and you know you put in a lot of time and work into this, you actually feel good. Now, pushing down those thoughts that like, wow, like I spent, you know, hours doing this, and that doesn't mean it should take you hours. I just suck. So I could probably have done this much faster, but someone else could probably have done this much faster. But then you start thinking like, somebody could generate something probably equivalent or very similar to this in under a minute, maybe 3 minutes if you want to count them, you know, checking all the typos in their prompt craft. And you get this kind of like almost this feeling of futility, but then you just kind of take that shit and you go, you fucking trash, and then you just get back into it. So the first thing I made was this during my week of creativity that I had that I really enjoyed, and I hope I can get back to it. Then I made this, and this is some photo bashing and mostly paint and some using some textures and stuff, but I really had a good time with this. I used I have a sci-fi pack shapes palette, little doodler for Photoshop that I made. It's all vectors. I just drag a shape in there and I kind of screw with it a little bit until I get something, and then and this was also very enjoyable, and I had a great time, and I spent hours working on this. It also turned into a couple of other different versions of this similar, like this same structure and dude and stuff in a slightly different setting. We'll get to that. Good times. Really satisfying. Is it great? I don't know if it's great. I had a good time. That's really all that fucking matters. All right, and then we go to, this was a quick one. Semi-failure, but honestly, when I went back and looked at it, I'm like, you know, there's a little bit of a feeling here. I actually get something from this. So at the time, I remember thinking this was a failure, and I didn't spend a lot of time. When I go back and I look at it, I go, oh, yes. It's not, there's nothing there. Then we got, this was a very quick one. Did this really quick. Never finished it. It's nice though, but I was like, yeah, that's good enough. And I'm kind of, when I get in these spurts, it's like sometimes you go work on one thing for hours and hours and you just obsess. And sometimes you just want to start a bunch of shit and, hey man, there's no rules. There's no rules in this game. You just gotta go with doing. And then sometimes you'll bring elements in and out. So there's no wasted time or work. Then we got this, same motif, same assets, different setting. It's a desert. It's sandy. Well, I don't say yay. Then we got this. This was, you know, and I made all this in my personal time, in the span of about a week, and I just was in that like fun mode, and it reminded me, and I was grateful for it. So we got this, whatever the hell this thing is. Actually, this is really bad. I never finished this. It was blah blah blah, but it is. I had good times. Good times. Then we made this one. This one was really fun too. You can spy the little no AI graffiti tag down here. I don't know who put that there. There's apparently in all kinds of places there's people who just don't like that shit. And this was a good time too. Good times indeed. I mean, you gotta remember to try to feed your creative juices, and that's where I was, and now I'm back. You're gonna be hearing a lot more from me. To everyone who messaged or said, "Hey man, like where you been? What's been going on?" Thank you to every single person who has subscribed to the channel and has, you know, whether you're an artist, whether you're someone who just cares about creatives, where you're someone who could just see the nonsense here and have either supported, liked, subscribed. I can't thank you enough. Much love. See you guys in the wars to come.